Peace to the family, y'all. Peace, love, and light. Peace, peace. Peace, y'all. Peace. Peace to the fam. Yes, indeed. Peace, peace. Wagwan. Peace. Give y'all a minute to get in here. It's another magical manifestation Monday. Just wanted to tune in with the family. Am I gonna be on 120? It's a possibility. I'm coming up to New York later on today. I've already watched the family. Yes, a lot of changes. It's very hard to stay positive and even optimistic at this time. We had a part 3. Well, we had our 3rd lecture in Atlanta yesterday, and it was the 2nd part of our Universes Conspiring series. Yesterday it was just me and the brother Raku. Shout out to Raku. Shout out to my brother Zeus. Well done, good sir. Productions. In conjunction with that brother, we have been putting on some events in the city of Atlanta just to give back. Atlanta is a beautiful, magical place. I have a lot of love for Atlanta. Atlanta gets a bad rap about all the other stuff that they say about Atlanta, but nobody talks about melanated families in Atlanta. Nobody talks about, black entrepreneurs in Atlanta, indigenous Moors in Atlanta. Nobody talks about the magic of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Nobody talks about Atlantis, the Atlantis aspect of Atlanta. This is a forest in the middle of, this is a metropolis city in the middle of a forest on top of a mountain, right? There's supercharged right next to a quartz monolith called Stone Mountain that they say, came here by way of like a meteorite or some shit like that. Atlanta is directly lined up with the 33-degree parallel of the pyramids of Giza. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta is a very magical place. There's actually gold out here. There's gold in the red dirt clay. Atlanta is magical. You know what I'm saying? It gets a bad rap, and we know why. But then if you understand the energy of this ley line, it's a feminine energy as well. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of feminine expressions out here. There's not a lot of alpha masculinity out here. You know what I mean? The women are in very dominant positions. Even the strippers, they control industry out here. You feel me? They set the tone for the rest of the nation and the country in terms of them being like the unofficial A&R of music in what is now the capital of black music. You know what I'm saying? Which is Atlanta. But there's a lot of other innovative things that are taking place here. There's a burgeoning tech scene in Atlanta, right? Melanated tech experts. A lot of different festivals and fairs come through this city. You feel me? And like I said, if you never had the opportunity outside of places like Houston and Dallas and certain places in LA, like if you lived in Baldwin Hills or Ladera Heights, or if you lived in certain parts of Bed-Stuy, certain parts of Brooklyn and Harlem, where you got to see concentrated black wealth. Like if you lived in Sugar Hill and shit like that, and you got to see concentrations of black people doing well, right? Melanated people who are doing well, not only sometimes second and third generations. You feel me? You can see that in Atlanta. And all of them, I guess, might not be Boule, There's a lot of wealth here in the city. There's a lot of melanated people who have figured it out, whatever that means for them and their family, right? By the Western standards of attaining a level of success where, you can do for self and finally do for others. You know what I mean? When you're comfortable enough to say, oh, we good, now we can go and do other things, or, that exists in the city of Atlanta and Atlantis. So, we did our third event out here yesterday. It was very successful. It was a free event, 50 somewhat plus people showed up because that's all we could fit inside of that venue. Up top, Tassili's Raw Reality, they have a temple called the I Am Ascension Temple. And we gave away free stones. Oftentimes people are asking me about gems and what gems go together and what gems are for what. So we had a section that was for like the money stones. Then we had a section for clarity and focus, right? Then we had a section for dreams, intuition, more of the metaphysical aspect of these stones. And we gave them away for free. And we have free food, right? People got punani wraps, from Tassili's, minus the nutritional yeast. They got free punani wraps. And then they got gems, they got jewels. Me and the brother Raku did our thing in terms of our lecture, our information, and I don't think that there's nobody else on the planet, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I want to sit in their class. I want to pull up and be a student, you feel me? But I don't think that there's nowhere else and nobody else on the planet that's explaining this information the way that we are, and I'm not afraid to say that, and I'm not even going to get into, if you go to YouTube, it's just niggas regurgitating a lot of old information. Where's the current information? Where's the current news? Where's the up-to-date shit? And I'm not talking about regurgitating the news in terms of like, if you're a news reporter, I'm talking about decoding. I'm talking about being a metaphysician. I'm talking about going back, right? Because in my paradigm, nothing is separate. You know what I'm saying? Everything is connected. So I'm going back 2 years. I'm going back 4 years. I'm going back 7 years. I'm going back 8 years and showing you through timelines how all of these events are connected. And then I'm going to the cosmos to show you the goddamn alignments, to show you how this shit, has been prescribed from, these are all galactic events. How we respond to them, that's on us. That's the human aspect of us, but this shit has been ordained and is playing itself out, And I did an interview last night with a good brother named Wanique Shabazz on a radio station out here in Atlanta. And we got into some good dialogue. I had to do a promo for another event here in Atlanta called the Mystic Fair that's coming up next Saturday at Tassili's. And this is an opportunity for all of the practitioners of different modalities that would be considered in this paradigm new age. It's an opportunity for all of the practitioners to come together and showcase to the community what they have to offer. So the Reiki masters, the tarot readers, the astrologers, the crystal healers, all of these modalities that some people in this community might even call pseudo. But these are the things that we're going to need, especially going forth at a time when the planet is going through turmoil. You feel me? When the planet is going through an unprecedented amount of turmoil. And if you really take your lens off and you take an inner look at what's going on in the planet, you're going to see that heavy, high concentrations of melanin, black and brown people are being pressurized, right? So where the highest concentrations of melanin are at, It's turmoil right now. It's kicking up. Now, we could be metaphysicians and alchemists and say, look, I'm not trained to look at it as a pessimist. I can say, oh, there's going to be positivity that's coming out of this because, pressurized carbon creates diamonds, right? I could say something like that to self-assure myself or to reassure myself. But, the Bahamas, right? Heavy melanated family out there. Let's not get into their political affiliation, which is their religious associations, because that shit is just politics at the end of the day. And for some people, yes, it might be the spiritual import, but there's nothing more spiritual about you recognizing and realizing that if we talking this black shit, you know what I'm saying, then that blankets the universe. Our connection to one another is through our melanin. But we're not a monolithic people. We're the most biodiverse people on the planet. So there's no one aspect of who and what we are. And that's where we make a mistake by blanketing blackness. You know what I'm saying? We love to say the continent of Africa is the home of the most biodiverse people on the planet. But then we can't express ourselves diverse, right? We got to be one thing in the eyes of one another, right? But we fail to unify on that blackness when it counts most. So it counts right now, right? What's going on in the Bahamas is an atrocity. In terms of our family that is a few miles off of the coast of Miami are going through some horrific conditions, right? They're slowly dying. That the island, the northern part of that island has been devastated by a hurricane. You know what I'm saying? A Category 5 hurricane. A Category 5 hurricane that spent 40 hours over that location. 40 hours going back and forth. A tsunami coming. Tsunami. Tsunami. I mean, they ravished them. You know what I'm saying? Heavy concentrations of melanin pressurized in a very stressful situation right in the Bahamas. Go down a little further, what's going on in the Amazon? Are we even updated on that situation? Because like I said, it's cool to play black. It's cool to wave the flag, to talk about you're the original man. It's cool to talk about, you are the guardians of the galaxy and the universe, masters of the earth. It's cool to talk all that shit. It's cool to claim that you God. You feel me? But at this particular time, that shit comes with a lot of responsibility. If you're supposed to be the caretakers and the custodians of this particular set planet that you have a relationship with, that you want to identify as, an extension of yourself. You feel me? Like, let alone the fact that you're not physically doing anything, the least you can do is lend your voice and utilize these social platforms to, call people to some level of action. Now, I don't have any fundraising capacities going on at this particular moment. I am interested to know if anybody knows of any fundraisers or like donations going to Brazil or the Bahamas or the Congo or Angola, right, or South Africa, anywhere that our people is going through an intense level of turmoil right now. If anybody knows anyone that is collecting proceeds for the family or food or different items to go to the Bahamas, I'm open to entertain any and all options. I'm sure when I go back to New York and I go into the Flatbush and different communities where there's a heavy concentration of the family at, I'm sure that I could get more insight. But if anybody knows anything that's going on out here in Atlanta that's dealing with that, please let me know. Shout out to my brother Chris Coleman. I saw him boarding a private jet, taking supplies to the Bahamas. You feel me? But there's there's not enough mobilization and focus on a part of our family that's out there in the Bahamas. And like I said, I don't have any updates either on what's going on in the Congo, in Angola, in the Amazon. You feel me? So if anybody has any updated information, okay, the brother said the Bahamian consulate. Okay. There's a national consulate. Again, I would imagine that there's one in New York. And definitely when I touch down, I guess I'll be in New York tomorrow. So I'm going to go and check that out. But I'm going to call for it on Saturday when we do the Natural Mystic Fair here in Atlanta. You know, I'll put together a collection. Either we'll collect some proceeds or, you know, ask the family to bring out canned food, clothes, you know, anything that we can send. You know, we fill some barrels up, you know, and send them things over to the family who can utilize them. It broke my heart, you know, some of the reports that I was hearing and some of the footage that I saw about what's going on in the Bahamas. You know, these repetitive stories that you hear over and over and over again about, you know, people not being able to save their children, you know, people not being able to save the elderly amongst them. You know what I'm saying? Just wholesale death and destruction. You feel me? I don't have a Bufu plug in the A. Let's see what else. Like yes, the cruise lines need to play a bigger role in the Caribbean, you know, when these disasters hit, because they make a lot of money off of tourism, but these countries make a lot of money as well. And the ironic part, and you know, 2 weeks ago I read an article, and the Bahamas was saying, "Yo, we doing the best business because a lot of these other Caribbean islands have been devastated by hurricanes, and we haven't. So we popping. You feel me? And we making all kind of bread, hand over fist." Because we haven't been ravished by any hurricanes, you know, and then this happens. And tourism is the lifeblood of that island, you know, and that's gonna be interrupted for a while. And they have entire industries that deal with disaster relief, the way that these Europeans swoop in now and buy up land for pennies on a dollar once displacement happens. So you bet your bottom dollar that, you know, they already are meting out plans to snatch the Bahamas up from the indigenous people, especially the fact that the people want to get the hell off of Abaco Island and stuff like that. Like, they want to go to Nassau, and, you know, that area is going to be condemned for the most part. Like, case in point, my mother was away for a few days, and I went over her house to check the mail, right? And I went over the house, and she had fish in the crib, in the fish tank. You know what I'm saying? And these fish done been through a lot with us, you know, but for some reason the fish, they couldn't hold on this time, and the fish was dead. You know what I'm saying? So I get to the crib, and the fish was dead. I can't tell how many days they had been dead. You feel me? But I get in the crib, right? And the shit it smelled crazy. It smelled like a body was in the crib. Now, I have a spiritual practitioner that I go to, right? When I'm out here, and when I go to his crib, he got mad dead animals in the basement. You feel me? Like, mad dead animals. Like, he got bins of them shits. You know what I'm saying? And the shit be smelling crazy in there. You feel me? I'm talking about it smells crazy in there. Like, you really get a chance to, the minute you walk through the door, you're affiliated with death. Like, you know what death smells like. You know what I'm saying? You really know what it smells like. And these little fucking fish, because it was hot as shit in Atlanta, they was bumping. Like, it really smelled like a human body or animal, or a full size animal was dead in the crib. And they was just fish. But because of the humidity and the temperature, and then they was in that stagnant ass water, it smelled crazy. So imagine, right? Imagine being in the Bahamas, okay? And like I said, the eye of the hurricane stood over that location and ravaged it for 40 hours, right? 40 hours, damn near 3 days, right? 40 hours, ravishing, back and forth, tsunami style. Imagine how many bodies is out there in that water. They said the stench is unbearable. You know what I mean? They said the stench is unbearable. The heat is crazy out there right now, right? Sun came back, it's 90 plus. That water has all sorts of everything in it, right? Not only bodies, but everything from, you know, all of the debris from the housing, you know what I'm saying? You know, because it destroyed all of the, you know, the infrastructure's completely destroyed. So everything that goes into someone's home, everything that goes into industry and business, you know, yes. And even there's updates on Fukushima. You know, we're going to talk about that as well. Japan is no longer at full capacity in regards to them storing the contaminated water in Fukushima. Because I don't know if family knows, Fukushima is a nuclear reactor that got damaged in a earthquake tsunami in 2011. Okay? And because of the leakage, the fact that, you know, where they keep the nuclear reactive rods at, they have to keep them in a pool to keep the temperature at a particular level. That water that the rods are in has become contaminated, so they have to store that water in a special place, special units. That place is at capacity now. So what they're talking about, which we already know that they have done repetitively, time and time again, they dumped the radioactive water into the Pacific Ocean. That's why you're going to see, let alone the fact that when the initial accident happened, right, there was leakage from the nuclear reactor into the water, right? We're talking now, they're deliberately dumping radioactive water into the Pacific Ocean. That's why you're seeing fish with 3 and 4 heads and stuff like that. This is why we say, look, you might not want to do fish right now. You know what I'm saying? You might want to be very, very suspect of where your seafood is coming from, including sea moss. Including sea moss. You feel me? So Fukushima is still an issue. You know what I'm saying? There's still contamination going on in Fukushima. I don't want to be the fucking Debbie Downer bearer of bad news and give you the forecast of where all of the bad shit is going on in the planet. You know what I'm saying? But once again, for my people that want to step up and assume this role of being God and being the masters of the universe or the custodians of this planet, yeah. Like when Barack came into motherfucking office, they're gonna hand you look, this is what you're dealing with, right? These are the conditions that are on the motherfucking table right now. Right? This is what the hell is going on. You know, you have these weather conditions that is like very unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to say whether this is man-made weather conditions or what have you. But you know, even when we're looking at what's considered to be what is it called? Global warming, you know, is that not man-made? Is that not exasperated by the different things that man is doing on the planet, to jack the planet up for commercialism, for capitalism, to make a dollar, right? So it's all man influence, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's nature responding to the things that man has done to fuck the atmosphere up, it's still the doings of man. You feel me? And if man is an extension of the creator, then God got a hand in this as well. You feel me? So I don't want us to be so disconnected at this time when we speak about the importance of melanin and blackness and black is beautiful and melanin magic and all of this shit and 1619 projects and the Jubilee year and we're out of servitude and freedom and we want to celebrate and niggas is going to fucking carnival and all types of shit, right? You niggas could show up for a party, right? But are we showing up, for the family that's in despair at times? We love to make an excuse like, oh, they all the way over there. There's nothing I can do for them. But what up? Bahamas is right in the backyard, right? That shit is like right next to Miami. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can do something. We could do something. You know what I mean? And I'm going to do what I can in terms of sending food and raising some proceeds and, raising awareness to what's going on out there. You know what I mean? It hurts my heart, once again, that we don't even have like a plan of action, a plan of mobilization for those that would like to do something, that can do something, or something doing in their heart and their minds. These disasters are repetitive, and we've seen them at least since Haiti, since the earthquake in Haiti, and we're forced to sit back and just observe and watch on the news, or expect the celebrities to hold all of the weight. But the celebrities go and they hold all the weight, then they turn around and say, I'm your fucking leaders, and then people is in a tizzy like, well, how's that happen? Well, did you assume leadership for yourself? Did you mobilize? Is there ones amongst us that have answered the calling and risen to the top and, took control of that mantle and said, I'm going to be the one to mobilize my people because, one person shouldn't be tasked to do it all, but if all of us do something, then it's not as heavy and burdensome. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I would love to see, like, the reggae artists, mobilize on this Bahamas situation. Like they said, the cruise companies, the travel agencies, the people who have, I've never been to the Bahamas, but the people who have always done business with the Bahamas, the people who have always traveled to the Bahamas, the UK, the Catholic Church, right? They do a lot of business in the Bahamas. They have a lot of influence on the hearts and the minds of those people over there. So, I would love to see a mobilization effort, man, to get some help to the family that's over there in a very distressful time. They're going through some unexplainable hardships. You know what I mean? A devastation that's unprecedented. You feel me? And it's like, oh, word, Dorian struck St. Thomas? I look into that. And it's like these places are paradise. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still writing my Paradise Paradox book, about the idea of paradise, you know what I'm saying? And that idea is one that's changing and shifting because the metrics of this planet, are changing with the weather and shit like that. So what was once paradise, which was once, somewhere that you can make your money abroad and go home, to paradise, these are allegedly places where our people were brought in captivity, and then when they gained the level of independence, the colonizers left paradise to them. You feel me? They're still resources there. There's still, you know, there's still things to be extracted. You know, there's still a beautiful experience still to be had from being in paradise. You know, but now these places that are identified as paradise are being destroyed by either man manipulated weather. Like I said, any way we stretch it, it's still man manipulated weather. Even if it's nature responding to some fuck shit that man has done, it's still man manipulated weather. You know what I'm saying? But it's changing the planet, it's terraforming the planet. It's making, you know, funny enough, this is a 20-year anniversary for Blade Runner, and I forgot what other movie. You know what I'm saying? But both of the movies were set in 2019. Blade Runner being one of the most famous. You know, and when you look at the backdrop of Blade Runner, a very dystopian future. You know what I'm saying? A lot of like fog and pollution, and you know what I'm saying, you can't see the skyline, the way that Sao Paulo looked, you know, when the Amazon was burning. You know, that's what all of these movies were depicting. You know what I mean? And it's like we're seeing the conditions that are going to bring about those realities. You know? So, yeah, Marcus Garvey did say, look for him in the whirlwind and the storm, but I don't know if this is what he had in mind. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if this is what he had in mind. Because the whirlwinds and the storms, you know, they always seem to adversely affect us as a people. You know, other than the fact that middle America, they get the tornadoes and shit like that, and they'll run through one of them towns and ravage them and turn them upside down. But, you know, these unprecedented floods and these fires, you know, seem to be affecting melanated people diasporically. You know, we could say, okay, on the West Coast, we saw this shit burning down wine country and certain parts of California that were growing weed and things of that nature. But look at the floods in Mozambique, you know, look at the floods in different parts of Africa. You know what I'm saying? Look at the fires that are burning out of control. You know, yeah, they got heat waves in Europe. Let's just say that there's weather conditions, right, that are fucking people up everywhere around the planet. And let's not make it a black and white thing. How about that? You know what I'm saying? Let's say that the universe in one aspect very well may be conspiring for our success, but in another respect, it's turning shit upside down. You know what I'm saying? As a response to the fact that the planet is in a red alert, it's in distress. You know what I mean? And this is not necessarily the time to be complacent. You know? This is not the time to be complacent. You know what I'm saying? This is not the time to, you know, I mean, if that's your thing, that's your thing. Because some people can walk through this shit, you know what I mean, and not have any connection whatsoever to what's going on and how it's taking place. But for those of us to have this open heart chakra, and we feel our connection to the planet, and we feel, you know, our connection to our space, inside of this universe, yeah, these are some very transformational, topsy-turvy times that we live in. And seeing certain things still at this point, I'm not fully what do you call it? I'm not, you know, I'm not at that place in my spiritual development where my heart doesn't get heavy. You dig what I'm saying? When I see all of this death and destruction, especially how it's impacting pockets on this planet where there's the heaviest melanin at. You feel me? You know what I mean? So, yes, the earth is a living organism, as we are, just like us, and we have what's called a symbiotic relationship to it. You feel me? Almost like parasite and host, you know? And it's very distressful to watch, you know what I mean, the earth go through what she's going through. Knowing that we were sitting by, you know what I mean, watching her get ravished, watching her get raped, watching her get, used up, watching them dig her guts inside out. You feel me? Watching all of this shit. Now we're looking at the ramifications of it, the effects of it. But we watched this shit. Almost like how the children during times of slavery were forced to watch their mothers get raped. Right? The children, us, have watched our mother get raped. The planet now. Right? It expressed itself on a higher level. You know what I'm saying? It expressed itself on a higher level. The same way that we were forced, allegedly, right, to watch our mothers get raped during slavery, right? And we failed to lift a hand or to sacrifice our lives. It's the same way that we were given all of these creature comforts, you know what I mean? And we sat back and watched the planet get raped by the same madman, mind you. You feel me? By the same madman. We sat by, and as long as we had our fast food and our TV and everything else, we watched the planet get raped by the same madman. And now these are the repercussions of it. You feel me? Now these are the repercussions of it. She's angry as fuck. She's angry as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And she's shaking shit off. She's going through her detox. So I was doing an interview last night, as I was saying, with the brother Wanique Shabazz. And he said something, and I'm going to give him the credit for it because it's amazing. And I'm going to be using this term for a minute. He said that, we went from a sacred people, and that's an anagram, right, to scare people. So you just changed the CA or the AC, right? You change the temperature. You change the AC and sacred to CA, and we went from sacred to scared. You dig what I'm saying? We went from a sacred people to a fearful people to a scared people, And that's what the fuck this shit looks like. You know what I'm saying? We scared. We holding on to this life that, we want to value the shit by... We want to hold on to life. We're fearful of death. We don't want to let go. But while we're here, we want to eat Popeye sandwich. You know what I'm saying? We want to do any and everything that's debilitating to this actual experience that we want to sell our souls to hold on to. You feel me? Like, come on. Shit crazy, man. Find you something to fucking die for. You're going to die anyway. You know what I mean? It's almost very much promised to you. These niggas is out here dying for corners. You feel me? Niggas is dying for chump change for $5, $10, $15, let alone $1,500 or $15,000 or $150,000 or $1.5 million. You worth $1 trillion fucking dollars. In your birth certificate, let alone the fact that you're worth your weight in gold. Cosmically, do you know what a human being is? You know what I'm saying? You're part of this universe. You are made of the best parts, right? Cosmic dust. Can't put a price tag on you, right? Can't put a price tag on you. But we got this issue with seeing the values in ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because because we're mathematical, we have to put, value as in cost on everything. You know what I mean? But our value supersedes that. You can't put our value in a dollar amount. You understand? But motherfuckers are still out here throwing that away. But they won't do it for the real shit. You know what I'm saying? They won't do it in defense of the planet. They won't do it in defense of these resources. Right? They won't fight for the fucking land. They won't even fight for the fucking land. So, I don't know what else there is left to say. You know, let's keep Bahamas in our prayers, or whatever you do, your meditation, your prayers, however you signal the universe, you know, to call on your ancestors or your creative force. Whatever you do and however you do it, just include the Bahamas. You know what I'm saying? Just include the Bahamas in that. And the other parts of the planet that are going through turmoil. You know? The indigenous people in the Amazons. You know what I'm saying? Send them send them some love. Send the Amazon some love. You know, just the planet, like, ground yourself if you can today. Because people will be like, oh, what can I do? Go outside. Take your shoes and your socks off. Put your feet in the dirt, right? That's a method called grounding. You want to spend at least 10 to 15 minutes with your feet firmly grounded in the earth. And just feel the energy. Feel the energy coursing through the bottom of your feet, right? To make this connection so you could be reminded, right? Because let's take a look at this, y'all. Let's take a look at this. Let's say you're 40 years old, right? A cumulative amount of time that you have spent with your feet on the ground, connected to the planet. If you're 40 and we accumulate all of the time throughout them 40 years, let's say you won't even add up to a year amount of time that you spent, not 1 year. In your 40 years on this planet, you have not spent one whole year with your feet firmly planted on planet Earth. Your entire existence has been off planet. How do I say so? Because we go outside and we wear shoes. And the majority of shoes that we wear are either wood-based or they have plastic or foam on the bottom. Electromagnetic currents from the planet cannot travel through plastic, wood, or all of these synthetics, right? Like foam posits and shit like that, whatever the hell that is. So you are living on the planet and you haven't been on the planet. You haven't been connected to the planet for the majority of your life. What's fucking with that? And this started since the 60s. You know what I'm saying? Like when they changed up the sneakers with with plastic on the bottom, right? Yeah, if you got leather bottoms, if you got moccasins, rubber, you know, the rubber and the plastic and all of that started like post 60s. So start thinking about when we started becoming disconnected as a people from the planet, right? Where there was things that was allowed to take place to us as a people in our own community that we was like, how did the fuck did that happen? We was just on Black Love the other day. We were just on Black Family the other day. We were just on, you know, I'm Black and I'm Proud, you know, and now niggas are selling crack cocaine to one another. Like, how the fuck did that happen? Right? It's the fact that our people post 60s were disconnected from a connection to the planet. They live 2 inches off the planet the majority of their lives, right? They don't have no connection whatsoever to the planet, because very rarely do we still go outside into the parks. When we go into the parks, very rarely do we take our socks and our shoes off. You like, you know, I don't want to get no fucking ants on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not connected to the planet. So it comes as no surprise to me that we live on the planet, or we live in space on the planet, but we don't see no connection to what the planet is going through. We don't really care as a people collectively. We like, so what she's burning? So what she's getting blown up? So what she's getting contaminated? You feel me? we don't see no connection to the planet. You know what I'm saying? Brother said he don't wear condoms for that reason. He wants to connect to Earth directly through other means, right? Yeah, it's no earthing in the PJs. You know, they made sure that we live in concrete coffins called projects, right? With 90-degree angles in our apartments. No indigenous society ever lived in 90-degree angle housing. Everything was either circular, right? Or it had different points like pyramids to it. But no indigenous people ever lived in a box, right? Because that doesn't allow the circumnavigation of negative ions, right? Energy can't move like this in 90-degree boxes. It gets stagnated in the corners. That's why we have dust and different energy stagnations in apartments and stuff like that. Dust accumulation in the corners and all of that, that's all static energy, right? And positive ions attract negative things. Negative ions attract positivity. It's vice versa when it comes to science. So, you know, there's a methodology or method of what's called squaring the corners. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to our brother Lester Lovin. He's a scientist, and he had made a contraption where he put these pyramids in the corners of the rooms, of 90-degree angle rooms, apartments, and it allows the energy in those places to be centrifugal, to circumambulate. You know what I'm saying? And it brings a whole different energy to the room. It makes the room a lot cooler. Your attitude improves. You don't have asthma and shit like that. All of these things can be attributed to the geomancy of how they setting these cities up in these concrete coffins that we live in, that they pay, you know, the rent is through the roof for you to fucking live in a coffin. You know? So yeah, I love Atlanta. I love southern regions. I love, you know, tropical regions. I love anything that's like connected, that's in nature, because it's a wider expanse. You can get houses out here, you know, in your backyard. You could take your shoes off. You can ground. You can earth. You could really get into your connection. You know, you could go hiking on Stone Mountain and stand on that magical piece of quartz. You could do all of this stuff, man. So, you know, let me make some announcements real quick before I get off. Next, on the 22nd of September, we're going to be in Brooklyn at Nicholas for the tribute to Delbert Blair, Dr. Delbert Blair. And this is what Delbert will be talking about if Delbert was still here. You know, this is what Delbert spoke on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, gardens and shit. You know, I want a tomato garden. And, you know, like Vito Corleone. You know, I want a tomato patch. You know what I'm saying? I like flowers and stuff. All right? I bought my shorty some flowers the other day. Right? So I want a whole flower garden. I like flowers. You know what I'm saying? I like watching bees pollinate flowers. You know, I like seeing insect life. You know what I mean? Appreciate nature. I like seeing their appreciation for nature. Yeah, those are orchards. You know, I want to definitely continue to grow my own food. But we have some magnanimous farming initiatives that are coming up that we're going to be announcing very shortly. So I definitely, through 2020, I'm going to be green thumbed out. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have my fair share of farming projects to be involved in. So I'm definitely going to get what I'm looking for in regards to that. You know, yeah, so Delbert Blair, that's the 22nd. This upcoming Saturday, like I said, here in the city of Atlanta, We're going to be having something called the 5th Annual Natural Mystic Fair. That's going to be at Tassili's Raw Reality in the backyard, on the earth. We could ground there as well. It's going to be dope. All of the mystics and the practitioners in Atlanta, they're going to be in the building. You feel me? It's a dope event. Highly recommend that you come through. Next week, on the 21st of September in Atlanta, there's two events. There is the Collard Green Fest, right? Where they show you how to make any and everything out of collard greens. That's dope because the collard green ice cream it's amazing. And it's also the Veggie Taste, right? The Veggie Taste is going to be taking place the same day. That's Saturday, September 21st. And I plan to be at that event. And then the next day, on the 22nd, we're going to be in New York for Dr. Delbert Blair. And right after that, October 3rd to the 6th, we're going to be in the UK at different locations. I've been posting flyers on that. I don't have it in front of me, so I can't read it off to tell you exactly where we're going to be, but you can look at my stories and you can look on my page, and I'll be posting the information pertaining to the UK. So if you got family that's out there in the UK, please let them know that we are on our way. We're coming through. They've been asking for quite a while when the pillar's going to touch down in the UK. We'll be there in the beginning of October. All right. Then October 19th, we're going to be back in D.C., and we're going to be with the Shifters. We're going to be reuniting with the Shifters, Pop Darby, Derek Grace, Brother Ben X, RZA Islam, Red and Blue Pill, 19. All right. And we're going to have special guests in the building. So other events that are coming. I was supposed to do a retreat in October. That don't look like that's taking place, but we're going to have to reschedule because people have been asking, left and right about these retreats. And we're going to make something happen. Even if I don't even make it out to the West Coast, we're going to have an East Coast retreat. We're going to do something in respects to some retreats before the year is out, because I can't do a whole year and not have no damn retreats done. So we're going to get the retreats done. I got a birthday coming up. I got projects coming out. I finished the album. You know what I mean? We're just shooting the visuals and everything for it now. And it's gonna be dope. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of amazing things coming. I'm finishing these books. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's just a great time. It's a great time to be alive, even with all of the stuff going on. So, let's hold a space for the living. Let's have a deep appreciation for life. Let's have an even greater appreciation for our breath. You know what I'm saying? Clean and clear air while we have it. Because things might shift. Dry, warm climates while they exist. You know what I'm saying? And let's take a moment, if we can, if you see it in your heart, to send a prayer, light a candle, do a blood sacrifice, do whatever, whatever falls into your modality. You know what I'm saying? However you give it up, however you connect, light one up. You feel me? Whatever you take a bump, whatever you do, you feel me? Just keep in mind the people on the planet, especially the heavy melanated people on the planet, right, that are going through turmoil right now by way of, all of the stuff that's taking place, that are displacing people, that are, just got people in a very uncomfortable, they have to face realities that we wouldn't necessarily want to deal with. You know what I'm saying? You know, everything that I can gauge about America and Americans is we want to enjoy ourselves. This shit is about entertainment. You feel me? This shit is just about, you know, it's about stimulus. You know, however we can stimulate ourselves, you know what I mean, keep ourselves stimulated, you know, that's what we about. Just take a brief pause in that period of stimulation and send some prayer, meditate. Like I said, you could light one up, take a bump, eat a Popeye's chicken, whatever you want to do, whatever makes you feel at your apex of appreciation. Send something out for our family in Brazil, in Angola, in the Congo, in South Africa, in Zimbabwe. Rest in peace to Mugabe. You know, in the Bahamas. You feel me? And there's other places, you know, where our people are going through real shit right now. You know, wherever the next, you know, mass shooting or killing is taking place in this country. I didn't watch the news yet. I don't know what happened this weekend. You know, they shot 44 people in Chicago last Labor Day. I could set my clock to that shit. I keep telling y'all, every major is Labor Day, July the 4th, a memorial or what have you, is going to be 44 people. Not 45 or not 40. There's going to be 44 people shot in Chicago. Now, how is that shit so predictable? What the fuck is going on out there? This is what I'm doing for the 999 portal. You know what I'm saying? This is the 999 portal for me that I'm speaking out. You know, I'm taking a little bit of time out of my day, you know, to speak about the things that matter most to me. I don't really see anything else right now, you know, other than the fact that if we are experiencing a level of comfort right now, meaning that you're dry, you're warm, you could turn your AC on, you could go outside, you could get a hit of fresh air, shit like that. You could pull up, you could light up, you could do whatever. You know, just take a little bit of time out of that day, out of that level of freedom and appreciation that you have to just give back. You know, say a prayer for the planet. Say a prayer for the people on the planet that are going through turmoil, you know what I'm saying, who can't do for themselves right now, right? Let's really tap into this oneness that we say that blackness represents, right? We say that blackness blankets this universe. Well, why is it so separated on this planet? You know what I'm saying? Why does it only exist in pockets? You feel me? But there's no unified agenda towards blackness, you know, especially even in this diaspora. And we could be the change. We could make the difference because we have social media. You know, we can make their issues our issues. So collectively, we could get over that shit that much more quicker and move on to, you know what I'm saying, conquering what the next issue is until we knock all these shits out. Then we can motherfucking party. You dig what I'm saying? Then we got something to motherfucking party about. Then we could be on the parkway for 3 goddamn days. Right? Waving every motherfucking flag that we have in the Pantheon. But while we partying, while our shit is falling to pieces, let alone the fact that they shit, you know, the emperor has no clothes and they shit falling to pieces. You know what I'm saying? But our shit ain't looking too much different. You know? So I want to say thank you once again for taking your time out, which is the most important thing that you have on this Monday, this magical manifestation Monday. All right, shout out to the Virgos again. We love y'all. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, peace, love, and light. All right.